Welcome, web designers. I'm going to cover some of the key points in Unit C because there's a couple things that are different because we're using a newer version of Dreamweaver and the book is based on an older version. So I have my Striped Umbrella website open in Dreamweaver, and here's my files over here, and I can see where all these pages I've added, and we'll work with those later. One of the first things that the book asks me to do, starting on page 50, is to change the document title of the website. Remember, the document title is what shows up in the tab when you look at the page in the browser. So the easiest way to do this is to go to your Windows menu and open up your Properties panel. And right here you see Document Title. So the book wants me to add some information on this document title. So I'm going to go to the end after Striped Umbrella, and I'm going to type in Beach Resort, and I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to put the Beach Resort and Spa, and then I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to put Fort Eugene, comma, Florida. Okay. So that basically has changed the title of my website. Notice this button over here, the page properties. Another part in Unit C has you change the background color. That's just where I can go to do that. So here's my background color, and I could change it to white, and it can. Here's where I also could change the default text color that's used throughout my website. So the property panels is a very helpful panel to have open. Okay, next we're going to add some keywords. Keywords are used by the browsers to find the website. So if I'm looking for a beach resort, I may go to Google and I might type in beach resort, or maybe I'm looking for some place that does dolphin cruises. So these are all keywords that you will want to add to your website to increase the chances that someone will be able to find your site if they're looking for you and they don't know the name of it. So to do this, the easiest way to do this is, notice I'm over these little tabs I have over here by files. I'm going to click on the Insert tab. And when you come in here, there's a whole list of all kinds of options in here, and about halfway down you'll find keywords. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to type in the name of the site, just in case somebody does know the name of my site. And then I'm going to start putting in the other keywords that your text recommends. So once you get those all typed in there and you click OK, you don't see them here on your page, but if I go to my split and I scroll up to the top into the head section, there they are. This is a meta tag. So this is not something the user will see, but it's just to help the browsers if someone is looking for your site. Part asks to change the description of the website. Whenever you search Google and you get your list of results, notice this right here, the description of the website that it's finding. This one's from beaches.com. Notice how many times the word beach appears. Beach, beaches, resorts, beaches. Here it is in the title. Remember, this was the title we just changed. So as many times as you can use a word in the description or in the title, it just bumps up your odds of somebody trying to being able to find your website. So now we're going to add a description for our Striped Umbrella website. I'm going to jump back over here, and under keywords, there it is right there, description. And a dialog box opens up, and I'm going to enter in the description as described in the book. Once you get this typed in, notice some of the words that are showing up, same as the keywords. The Striped Umbrella we had in our keywords, resort, spa, Gulf of Mexico, Florida. So as I said, the more you can repeat keywords that you think people will use to find your website, the better off you are. So we click OK, jump over to our split, and now right here is another meta tag called description, and it has the information that you typed in. So that's how you add keywords, descriptions, and change the title. All that's covered in Unit C. So going back to the properties panel, I am going to go in now and change the background color. The book has you kind of go through changing it to this color to that color, but basically you're going to end up with a white background color. So I'm going to click on this small square here, and to pick white I could use these sliders, but I know that the hexadecimal code for white is all F's, so I can just put in 3 of them and you'll see it now turns to white. Okay, so that's going to become my new background color. My text color is going to be black, which is the default color. So, and that's all zeros. So I could just come in here and just type in 3 zeros and it would still know that it's black. So when I press enter and then I click apply, you'll see the back of my website now has changed to a white background with black text. Click OK and I'm all set with that. On page 54, we're going to work with the menu. This is how everybody's going to get around our site. So right now I have About Us, Spa, and Cafe. I'm going to add, in front of the About Us, I'm going to add Home, a space bar, a dash, and another About Us. And then I'm going to have after Cafe, spacebar, dash, activities. Now notice my font didn't show up the right way. I'm going to go back to that properties panel again. Notice when I click on Cafe, it gives me this class of navigation bar, which is kind of a style, if you're familiar with the style in words. But my activities doesn't have that. So I'm just going to highlight that. I'm going to come down here to class, and I'm going to click navbar. So now it looks just like all the other ones. I'm going to click in front of the first paragraph, right here where it says Welcome to the Striped Umbrella. And I'm going to press enter. And then I'm going to type in the welcome message. Welcome to our beach. I'm going to click anywhere in this paragraph that I just typed, and I'm going to change this to heading 1. Right now it's just set to the paragraph style, and I'm going to change it to heading 1. At the end of the document, if you won't want to go home, I'm going to put my cursor there. I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to now put in the address and contact information for this striped umbrella. You can't imagine how many websites I see that do not have their location on them. At the end of striped umbrella, I don't want to have all this space between the paragraphs. So if you remember, we hold down the shift key and press enter, and then I can type in the address of the resort and their phone number, and then eventually their email. Okay, once I get all that typed in, I'm going to select it all, and I can simply make it all italic. Okay, so that's the basics for setting up the first part of the Unit C. In the next video, I will show you how we're going to link these navigation bar items to our files over here, and I'll show you a very quick and easy way in which you can do that.